Only 2-3 minutes?
We're gonna highlight the
I have swear words take longer than that. You don't want to explain that.
I would like you to describe the city of Youngstown in one word.
Home.
What made you want to be in politics?
I didn't. Everybody threw my name in and sponsored a girls softball team, and all the girls from Youngstown State, the Clark sisters,
Okay.
they played for Youngstown State softball team, and Wanda and those girls were on the team, and I come home and my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "What are you talking about? You run a sheriff." I said, "What are you talking about?" I looked in the paper, it said, "Traficant for sheriff." Guys thought I was electable, they wanted me to run. So the next thing you know, I was involved in a race, and then everybody started talking dirty about me, and everybody was swearing and everything and referring to me as number one with their middle finger. So I said, "Okay, let's get this on." And then I ran. I've been running ever since. Yeah, people chasing me, I'm running. I stoop over to tie my shoes, two guys shoot each other. Brought so much money they still can't account for it.
I was just going to say, first the Cavelli Center, everyone knows that.
Wow! You know, that's the only sports arena in the history of the United States financed by federal funds. I wanted them to put it up across from the university, where the Bartlow wing is up on the... Right across where the land bridge, right there with the university that would maintain it, would supervise it, would manage it, provide security. But in addition, they would probably have developed a hockey team, played their basketball games. There have been 40 more venues, and they'd never worry about it being able to maintain itself. By this time, there would have been a hotel there. I had a hotel lined up. But they put it downtown, and it's on its own. But look what it's done for downtown. I think the city of Youngstown should be a college town. I think that's the type of thing, and they should have been building south towards the city, and a lot of those second floor and third floors of some of the old buildings could have been housing for students, and there's nothing wrong with a campus town. But you see, everybody has these grandiose ideas of putting together another New York City or Las Vegas. It's not going to happen.
What is you feel is the greatest accomplishment? What was rate is the highest of your accomplishments?
Changing the burden of proof in a civil tax case.
Really? That's okay.
You know about it?
I do.
Let me see who this is. I had a bill in trying to change the burden of proof in a civil tax case. Now let me explain this. 96% of all litigated tax cases are civil law. And under the tax code, the taxpayer had to prove innocence. Now hear me. The IRS accused. But the taxpayer's burden of proof was to prove their charge wasn't correct. The Traficant bill said, wait a minute, you should be innocent until proven guilty in America, shouldn't you? Here's what it did. And if you're putting anything on the air, don't miss this. 1 year after the implementation of this bill, they did a snapshot study. So imagine the date of the bill enactment. They looked at 12 months before and 12 months after. They looked at 3 areas. All of them were subject to the Traficant language. First one was wage garnishment. Americans, taxpayers whose wages were garnished because of IRS action. 12 months before, when the taxpayer had the burden of proof, there were 3.1 million Americans who had their wages garnished. 12 months after, when the burden of proof transferred to the Internal Rectal Service, catch that?
I did.
It dropped to 560,000. The most astounding statistic was the last category. Individual family-owned homes seized, taken by the Internal Revenue Service. The year before, 10,073. The year after, 57 homes.
Wow.
1 per state. 57 homes.
Wow.
1 per state.
Wow.
And the local newspaper does not support me, never let anybody know that it was their congressman who changed this law.
How do you feel about Congressman Ryan? Do you think he's
I think he's a nice guy. He worked for me. I hired him.
Okay.
I think the trouble is, though, he didn't look into as much of the constituent needs of the people. That's one thing I'm hearing.
Okay.
That it's very easy to get drawn into that. You know what I'm talking about? I was very much an independent in Congress, targeted by both political parties. Well, hear me.
Yeah.
They couldn't beat me with a gun. They put me in prison. Now that stuff's starting to unravel. You're going to see some revelations. Because I could have been out in 9 months. All I had to do was admit guilt, and I'd have been pardoned. I told them to shove it up your ass, God. Now you have a young man in Nigeria submitted an affidavit, said his life was destroyed because he wouldn't perjure himself for the government against trafficking. Now you have another guy who was acquitted of a charge that wanted him to say that he saw Cafaro give me money in Washington. Now they're all scrambling. And I think before it's over, I'm going to get a lot of money out of them. And I'm going to try and get them by the short hairs and do all this stuff.
Do you have any plans on any political office?
Probably
or?
run again. I'll run
You will?
either in the 17th or the 6th. We have circulating petitions now. I'll be running. Because there is no states' rights anymore.
Right.
United States of America doesn't exist. This is a central government of America. They added the 17th Amendment to have a popular election of U.S. senators. They destroyed state rights. So the trafficking bill would repeal the 17th Amendment. That's number one. It would repeal the 16th Amendment. You know what the 16th Amendment is? That's the income tax. The reason for the 16th Amendment was when the income tax was first started, it was taken to the Supreme Court and struck down. It was unconstitutional. Founders didn't want an income tax. They wanted to reward work, not penalize work. So the trafficking bill would repeal the 16th and 17th Amendments and would abolish the Internal Revenue Service. Hear me. People laugh. They laughed about the burden of proof. It'd be a flat 25% final retail sales consumption tax on goods and services. You know where the progressive income tax come from? You want to do some non-profit research? The father, the author of the progressive income tax was Karl Marx, the father of communism. That was his platform. And look what we're doing now. There's the greatest socialist nation in world history is the United States of America. We redistribute more wealth than anybody else. Now what I don't like, I'm starting to see some communism. Let me tell you what it is. You either do this or we're going to do this to you. I never heard of that.
Right.
Ever in America. Did you?
No.
And you know, people aren't even talking about that part.
Right.
See, to me, that's the significance of this. We have people with pre-existing conditions that have to be taken care of. Working families that are working and under the threshold, they got to be helped. Young people, though, rolling the dice, that's their right to roll the dice. They shouldn't be forced. That's their decision. And those illegal immigrants should be thrown the hell out. Now, having said that, I've had it with you. I'm finished.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
All right, take your papers and
Thank
get out.
you. All right.
You want something to drink while we're here before we go? A little
I'm actually,
Coke or something?
No, I'm good, thanks.
What are we going to get signed?
You're gonna sign it?
I'm not signing anything.
Linda says you're signing.
I don't want to sign it. Caught at YSU, Penn State University, Capital University, Columbus. Study of substance abuse, speaking of the substance abusers, social deviants, juvenile deviants. Give me a pen. I got a pen. I got one.